What's up YouTube, jDantastic here, and today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experience at PAX South. Now, I didn't do like a full-on crazy vlog documenting everything that I saw, but there was a few notable things that I thought would be cool to share with you guys, some games and stuff for you that couldn't go. So, for those of you that don't know, I don't know how you couldn't, but I went to PAX South. I actually went with Google Play, which was really, really cool. So I got to sport around this sweet backpack all weekend, and it was a ton of fun. It was all thanks to Google Play that I even got to experience PAX South. It was my first PAX. So before we get into anything, it's such a huge thank you to Google Play for everything that they provided and just making the whole trip possible. So that was fantastic. If you didn't know, Thundershot came with me as well. So we went and did the PAX scene together, which was really, really cool. But like I said, I didn't do like a full-on vlog of recording everything, so I just wanted to kind of make a chill video here and just talk about some of the stuff. I do have a few clips of stuff that'll just kind of roll through the video with me just kind of talking in the background over what you're looking at that'll pop up on screen. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of, recap some stuff. There was some really cool games that we got to play that I think were really, really cool. Even the Nintendo Switch, which I'll show you some of that at the end of the video. I got my hands on the Nintendo Switch, and I'll show you some clips of me playing Zelda, as well as transitioning from the TV to the handheld version of the Switch. I got to play the Switch for 20 minutes, so that was really cool. But yeah, just jumping right in here. Some of the coolest experiences that I had at PAX was actually the VR stuff, virtual reality stuff, because I actually hadn't experienced VR until PAX. So, I mean, obviously I have the thing that came with my Samsung phone, which is VR, but it's not like the video game VR. It's not really the same. It's not as immersive. And so one of my favorite VR experiences while at PAX was the Serious Sam demonstration that they had set up. It was on the Alienware booth, I believe. It had them hooked up to the Alienware laptops, and it was a Serious Sam game, and it was so much more immersive than I expected it to be. I mean, I knew that it was immersive, but like, you really can't tell your brain that you're not in the game. Like, you think that you're gonna get hit in the face and it's gonna hurt. I mean, there were multiple times where I would be looking off in this direction and shooting the guns, and then I would turn back around this way and there would be a dude right in my face, and I would like literally physically jump out of the way to try to dodge what was coming at me. So that was crazy. It was a completely different experience there. There was a few other cool VR stuff that they had set up. Omen by HP was there, actually, the people who hooked me up with my lovely PC here, which most of you know about by now as well. They had a whole setup. They did a Hearthstone tournament and some other stuff, but they also had some VR rocking. They had it hooked up to what was that? The Bondi racing game, and now I can't think of the name of it, but Kagi tried that one out. And that was a ton of fun. He was a very poor driver, to say the least. So the VR experience was definitely some of my favorite. There's another one there called Artur. I don't have any footage of that one, unfortunately, but basically what it was is a complete movie studio within virtual reality, where you and your friends go into the virtual reality world, pick your character, move the cameras around, you record the movie in VR, you edit the movie in VR, and then you can like export the movie and watch you and your friends be these virtual reality characters and acting out this movie and these different scenes and things like that. So that was really cool too. It was a really cool concept to see that kind of come to life. Other than the VR stuff, there was a few games there that we've known about for a while now. Like Brawlhalla was there, which was actually really cool. If you went and played Brawlhalla at their booth, you actually got an exclusive skin for that. So I'm actually going to be getting into Brawlhalla a little bit more. I've been playing it ever since PAX, and it's really fun. I know that some people out there think that it's not quite up their alley, but I really kind of like it. I think it's super fun. So getting into the Brawlhalla stuff, there was another Brawl game there called Brawl Out. Now I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's dangerously close to Smash Brothers, and I hate to compare games like that because I know that ideas are formed that way, and you build upon other ideas and things like that. Brawl Out looks really cool. I like the art style. I like the characters. I like the different fight styles. It just seems like it might be a little too close to Smash to actually be able to be competitive, but I hope that I'm wrong in that, because it does look like it could be really fun. It does look like a really solid game, so I hope that You know, they do a lot of cool things with that and take it to the next level, I guess. Basically, make it its own game, make it its own outstanding game. And by the way, everything that I'm talking about here, if I can find links to it or anything like that, I'll put as much information in the description as I can. If you hear a game that you think you might be interested in, check the description below so that you can you know, possibly get more information on it, or, you know, sign up for updates on the games or something like that. I'll do my best to gather up as much information as I can on all the stuff that I talk about here. Next up is more of like the indie style games. Freedom Planet 2, which was actually really cool. I haven't had a chance to play Freedom Planet 1 yet. I played it a little bit. They had Freedom Planet 2 on 2 screens, and then they had Freedom Planet just on another screen. So I actually did get to play a little bit of Freedom Planet at PAX, and then also Freedom Planet 2 with the new character, which, of those of you don't know, Kagi actually works on that game. He's a voice in that game. So that was really cool. Kagi was working the booth there for all 3 days. So we got to hang out with Kagi a little bit, play his new game, and it looks really great. It's a ton of fun to play. And they actually just released a demo that I believe you have a Windows PC. I don't think it's on Mac, but I believe there's a demo out right now that you can download and play. I hope that I'm correct on that. If I am, there will be a link in the description below if you want to check out that demo as well. There was another indie game that I thought looked really interesting. I love the art style. It was called Lightfall, and it's kind of it's a platformer, and you spawn these boxes to basically help you get through the map. But it was really kind of a dark, gritty style game. We've seen several of these style of games come out, but this one just seemed really interesting. I love the way that the levels interacted and the way that you kind of had to use the powers that the developers put into the game to make it through the level. It all just seemed like it was happening so smooth, and it wasn't like clunky or anything at all, and the art style was phenomenal. So I'm really excited for that one to come out. I can't remember exactly when they're planning. I believe it was May, sometime mid 2017, I believe, for Lightfall. So that one is definitely a notable one to think of. I'm gonna play a little clip here just so you guys can see this next game that I'm about to talk about, which is called Think of the Children. And the concept of this game is that you play as the parents, and you have to flip burgers, build sandcastles, make sure the party is going well, while simultaneously trying to keep 6 children alive. And the children are continuously trying to kill themselves by either drowning in a pool, getting hit by cars, eaten by sharks, attacked by seagulls, all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm going to roll this little clip of Thundershot and Kagi playing this game, and then I'll come back in just a second.
Okay. This kid's drowning himself. Stop. I know. Get him. Where do I put him? Where do I put him?
Just away from the danger.
The seat. Look. Get out of here. He's there. I threw him. What is shouting him? Yeah. Another trigger. Over here. This guy's on fire. I gotta make sure this guy doesn't stay on fire. What? Okay. If you yell, he's on fire. If you yell, the kid don't run away from the spot. All right. Yeah, because he was on fire, you asshole.
A shot of the lovely parents.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the lovely bride and groom.
I'm the best parent ever. The seagulls are eating that child. Oh my god. Oh my god. The sharks. The sharks. What is this, dude? Barbecue's on fire.
All right, so that was a little bit of a taste, and I believe that one they were slated. That one was also around the same time. I believe it was going to be early to mid 2017. So maybe like right towards the start of summer, end of spring, I think is what they were going for. And we got to play as the parents, but they also said that before the release of the game, they're actually going to add another co-op mode. It's going to be like a co-op versus mode. So 2 people will play as the parents, and then 2 people will play as the children, which is going to be so much fun, because the 2 people playing as the parents are going to have to try to keep the other 2 players alive, while the other 2 players are basically trying to kill themselves the whole time. It was so hectic and so much fun. Like, I don't know, it was right up my alley for the type of just like mindless, crazy, hectic fun. As in terms of like a party game playing with your friends, it doesn't get much better than that. So that is another one. I cannot wait for the release of that. The next notable game that I played was Eternal. It's Eternal card game, and at first glance, it's basically a Hearthstone clone. And again, I don't like to say stuff like that because, you know, I don't want to say that they're like copying these ideas or anything like that. But in order to give you an impression of what the game is, that's the best basis that I can give it, because Hearthstone is a very well-known game now. So Eternal is like Hearthstone, but there are so many different mechanics to it. There's like pieces of magic in there. So there's a lot more to it. Basically, it's not nearly as simple as Hearthstone, and I kind of like that. I like the advanced mechanics. There's a lot more opportunities for reaction. So in Hearthstone, you're either attacking or you're playing defense. You're always, catching up. It's always one step and then the next step and then the next step. And what I really like about Eternal is that there's quick spells that you can play during your opponent's turn, or you can set your, certain players that you have on the board to attack while leaving others behind so that you can use those to defend against the next turn. There was just, and then it requires, it's not just mana based, there's also different types of cards that you have to play, and then each other I'm making it sound confusing. It's not really this confusing after you play it for the first time, but it's really cool. I like the art design, and I like the levels. The cards really seem interesting. The different abilities that the cards have are really, really cool. So I'm going to try to play that a lot and get into that and try to learn the ins and outs. I think that might be something that I play regularly. Again, so that's actually available right now. You can get it on mobile in the Play Store. I don't think it's available in the App Store yet for iPhones, but I know that you can get it in the Google Play Store, and it is also available on Steam. So the second I got home, I downloaded it on Steam. I've already gone through the tutorial and played through some of the like the quest missions and things like that. I've opened a few packs to get some new cards and things like that. So Eternal card game, definitely check that one out if you're into those strategy card games. It's a ton of fun. I really like it. I hope again that it becomes its own game and grows and has its own community and things like that, because I think it does have a lot of potential there. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where that one goes. The other one was Hyper Universe. Now, this one was really cool. This is a side-scrolling MOBA, but not kind of like any other MOBA that we've seen before. There's, maybe one other side-scrolling MOBA. There might be some on mobile games and stuff. What was it? I can't think of the other side-scrolling MOBA that's out, but basically there's like multiple levels, and lanes and turrets and all different kinds of characters that you can select from. We played it, and we played a full game. My team lost. Man, I didn't perform very well. I didn't pick a strong character. My character was much too up close and personal. When it comes to MOBAs, I like to hang back a little bit and be the guy that kind of pokes damage. But the character that I did play with, he was really fun. I just wasn't really that good at playing him. But I am excited about that one. It's called Hyper Universe. You can register to receive updates on it, and if they release like a beta or a test or something, they'll notify you if you can get into that. So again, all this stuff, links in the description below if you want to check out anything that I'm talking about here. So that one was really exciting. I'm excited to see where that goes. It was hectic at times because it is, it's a 2D side scroller. So if both teams are kind of in an all-out brawl, it's a little difficult to kind of understand what's going on, or where your character is, or where their characters are, or who's on what team. And but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's actually really cool. It was a ton of fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. Another one that was fun to check out that I actually hadn't checked out yet was Hello Neighbor. I know a lot of people are actually playing that. They've checked out the alpha or beta or whatever stage it's in right now, but they had a little bit more built out at PAX. They had a slightly more updated version there, and that was a ton of fun. So that's another one that I'm looking forward to. Sneaking around the neighbor's house trying to not get caught. But I think as far as notable games and stuff, I've been trying to think back if there was anything that really... I mean, otherwise, there were a ton of other games that were really cool, really fun little games. There was one booth that was actually games made by students who were studying to be game developers, and one of them was this Portal-esque game, and the guy said that it was this person's thesis to get their masters, and it was phenomenal. We played, I think it had like 6 or 7 stages that we played through, and it was the blocks could only move a certain number of spaces, and there was no jump, so you couldn't climb, so you had to use these blocks to basically navigate the room. And the satire in it was a lot like Portal. But the game itself was really, really fun. I actually kind of wish that it was like an actual full-on built-out game that they're planning on releasing. But nonetheless, that was really cool to check out. And like I said, there was a ton of other like little fun stuff to play here and there. But these were the ones that I mentioned were my favorites that I got to check out that I think are worth pursuing or following for when the time comes that all that stuff is going to come out. And then of course, the Nintendo Switch. So there's gonna be some footage on your screen here showing me play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and the game is phenomenal. I mean, I only played it for 20 minutes, so I know that that's not nearly enough to dive into a game as large as Zelda, but from what I played, it looked great. The story elements seemed like they were going to be really cool. The gameplay was solid. The look of the game was really, really fun. The map looked huge, and like it looked so big. I played with multiple different weapons just like straight away. That was really cool. There was upgrades. There's the you know, the stamina bar, the fact that you have to keep yourself warm enough. You gotta watch the gauges when you're climbing, when you're swimming. I mean, it was so immersive in just the 20 minutes that I played. And the Switch itself was also super, super cool. It felt really comfortable in my hand. Both the Joy controller and the handheld version, where you actually pop the screen up out of the dock, and then you can play on the go. And I do think it's worth noting that while the game was on the TV, it looked okay. And by okay, I mean it looked good. It looked like a good video game. But when I popped it out and had the handheld version and Zelda was on the smaller screen, it looked better. It looked better on the handheld screen than it did on the TV. And I think that might be due to because they had fairly large Samsung monitors hooked up to the console. So maybe it was because it was kind of stretched out beyond, the normal ratio or whatever, that maybe it kind of looks not as crisp as it did on the smaller screen. But when I popped it out and looked at it there, I mean, that is what it looked like it was supposed to look like, I guess. Like, I popped it out and I was like, oh, okay, this is what the game is supposed to look like. So it's almost like the game was meant to be played on the go. I mean, it's a Zelda game, so you think Zelda, you think sitting on your couch, spending hours getting lost. But as comfortable as the controller was, as great as the game looked on the screen, I don't know. I've been pretty sold on the Switch from day one. And now that I've actually had my hands on it, I've gotten to play Zelda. I've seen the cool stuff. I popped off the things. I popped them out, pulled it out to get. It's great. I'm excited. I cannot wait for the Switch to come out. I'm really rooting for Nintendo on this one. I hope they nail it. I hope everything comes together and it is as good as what they say it's going to be. But yeah, so that was probably the biggest booth that was there. It was like a 3-hour wait time just to get your hands on the Switch. They had all kinds of other Nintendo events going on during that time, but other than that, PAX was a blast. We walked around San Antonio a little bit. We got to see the Alamo, which was really cool. They kind of had it roped off, so we could only get within 20 feet of it or whatever. We couldn't really go walk around and really check it out. Of course, we didn't walk over there until fairly late at night, but it was really cool to see the Alamo in person. I'd never seen that before. It was my first time in Texas. It was my first time in San Antonio. First time at PAX. There's a lot of firsts this weekend. So, but I had a blast. Again, thank you so much to Google Play for an amazing experience, an amazing trip. I got to play a ton of cool stuff. I got to meet so many amazing people. Some of you guys were there. I got to take pictures with people, talk to people who watch my videos regularly, which was really weird and at the same time really, really cool. I had people coming up to me and talking to me, and I've never been recognized in public before, so that was really cool. It was a cool experience to get to talk to some of you guys. So hopefully I'll get to go to more of these events in the future and meet more and more of you guys, because that's really fun. So just one more time, thank you so much to Google Play for making it all possible. And if you guys are interested in any of the games or anything, like I said, I'll do my best to put as many links and informative stuff in the description as I can. And if you have any questions for me about the games or anything like that, drop a comment down below on this video. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys at this point. Thank you guys so much for your support, for watching my video, because again, it's you guys that make all this stuff possible as well, just by supporting me through the years. So, if you had fun watching this video, if you learned something, if you discovered a new game or anything like that, make sure you hit that like button. If this is your first time walking by my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stick around with us, have some fun. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will talk to you in the next video. Later.